Actually, the Neewer Q300 outdoor strobe is not bad at all. Hello and welcome to my channel. If you watched my previous video on the Q300, which was actually a full review video, I talked about the good stuff of the Q300 as well as the limitations. If you haven't watched that yet, maybe you should click on this link or check the description to view that video. In this video, I went outdoors to shoot with the Q300 in broad daylight to observe the workflow and see how proper exposure can be achieved and if you really can use this light to do professional client works or not. Actually, one of you asked in the comment section of the previous video that I take the light out and do a shoot in the daytime and update you. So that is exactly what this is about. Now, without talking much, let's jump right into it. First, I started with a base photo using only the exposure triangle to achieve a proper exposure with no external flash. I kept my ISO at 100 throughout the shoot. The aperture was set to the widest on the lens, which was f2.8. I also set my shutter speed at 1/200 of a second, which happens to be the sync speed of my Canon R8. So now with this base photo, there are two ways I could proceed to adjust the exposure to get a more pleasing image. One, I could increase the aperture value from f2.8 to maybe f8. Or two, I could move the shutter speed value from 1/200 of a second to maybe 1/2000 of a second. If I use the former, then my shutter speed is going to remain at 1/200 of a second. So even if my subject gets underexposed while the background is properly exposed, I can use the Q300 to light my subject. The only downside is that most elements in the photo are going to be in focus and sharp, not just my subject. And if that is what you want, then you are good, nothing to worry about. But in my case, that is not the result that I want. So I kept my aperture at f2.8 and rather increased the shutter speed from 1/200 of a second to 1/4000 of a second. Now, these new settings properly expose my background. I could see the details in the sky, but my subject is underexposed. So this is where you would want to turn on your flash and put a light on your subject to achieve a result like this. But this is also where the limitation of the Q300 kicks in. With a shutter speed of 1/4000 of a second, which is faster and higher than the sync speed of my camera, this is not going to work. When I turned on the flash on these settings, this was the result. The entire image was darkened. So what this means is that to have the flexibility to shoot at your preferred aperture and shutter speed while using the Neewer Q300 flash, you would need to have an ND filter. This ND filter is what will allow you to properly expose the background as you please while keeping the shutter speed below or exactly at your sync speed. You can then set the exposure for your subject with the Q300 flash and achieve amazing and endless results. As you can see, all these photos were taken with the Neewer Q300 outdoor strobe on a bright sunny day at downtown Hamilton, specifically at the Commotion rooftop. I want to thank Ryan from Commotion for letting me use the rooftop for my shoot. If you are an entrepreneur, work from home staff, or a creative in Hamilton and you need a co-working space, you should check out Commotion on King. So in conclusion, the Neewer Q300 is actually an amazing light. First, it is super affordable, super bright, and reliable. But to get the most out of this light, you would need to get two extra accessories. One, an ND filter, and two, the Q Pro trigger. If you want to know why you need to get the Q Pro trigger, make sure to check out my first review video on the Q300. There are more details in there. With the Q300, you are guaranteed 1000 shots before the battery runs out. Also, if you are mostly shooting at full power, which is 1/1, you are guaranteed 60 clicks before the battery overheats. It does not run out, but it overheats. Yep, that is all I have for you today. Was this video helpful? If yes, please drop a comment and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. You don't want me to chase you on YouTube to subscribe, because I can really do that. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.